Today we're working on a fun project. Thanks for following along. I have a friend that has a Pokemon master collection of all these trading cards, and he has a huge binder that these Pokemon cards go in. Pokemon or whatever they're called. So he asked me to airbrush some Pokemon stuff on it. It's for his kid. I guess his kid got into collecting. He's a huge collector into comic books and stuff like that. So his kid, like Dad, is collecting cards. Very cool. Our job is to do some painting on it. He wants one of the Pokemon characters airbrushed on it with the Pokemon lettering and just kind of make it a really cool case for him. It is a rush job, so we jumped in here and we're getting it done. I did do a little bit of lettering already just to see how this is going to airbrush, because it almost feels like a rubbery vinyl. Not quite vinyl, I don't know. The texture feels weird. So I did do some painting on it just to make sure that we have good adhesion and we're able to mask on top of itself. With the airbrushing, we're just going to do it all freehand, but with the lettering, I like using paint masks so it all looks nice and clean and looks like it's printed on. So let's get into it. All right, I cheated on you guys. I started working a little bit. What I did do is cut out a paint mask, like I usually do, and measured center, put a center mark in the center of the paint mask. We also did two little registration points. It's basically just two little tiny squares that I can take two different layers of paint mask and lay them up on top of each other after we spray each one. I have this figured in exactly where it goes. So this is our first deal. If you noticed, I did not weed. I didn't take out the squares. We're going to leave those there. After we put down the paint mask, we'll leave those on the squares left onto this material. So then when we take our new material, we'll take these squares and we'll line them up with that. So that way we'll be able to get this lettering over a black background. So let's get into this. All right, so I got this down. I put a piece of tape all the way across the top, which will create a hinge for me. So I'll be able to lift this up and lay it back down. That's the best way I could figure on doing it. We'll just push this down. Now this is like I said, this is like a weird rubbery feel to it. I'm kind of slightly nervous airbrushing on it, but I did do this and it seems to be holding up pretty good. Okay, so now we'll pull the transfer paper off of this. Transfer tape, paper. Is it paper when it's not paper? Okay. So normally I would take paper or tape and just tape it. But since I'm a little bit nervous of taping on top of this, I'm going to put down paper over the top just to protect it. So and because this is so spongy, the foam kind of foam rubber that it's built with, the paint mask kind of wants to lift in certain areas, almost like it's stretching it. Now I put the tape over our squares just in case there's a little cut line in there, so you don't want to take a chance of that. It's getting down to the end of the roll, and the roll's getting old, so that is the end of the roll. I win. For the other lettering, I'll probably get paper. Okay. Now I'm going to clean this. I already cleaned it once, but I just want to make sure that we're all cleaned up. Okay. A little bit of tack cloth just to make sure. Our first coat is going to be adhesion promoter. This is the Mustang flavor. So we're going to shoot the outline black. And then do kind of like a grayish, silverish streaking through it. Mix that up good. Now you want to hit the Mustang while it's still slightly wet. I mean, not wet, wet, but wet enough. All right, that's good enough for black. Now I'm going to take some white, add it to my black, and make like a gray, and then do kind of like diagonal lines, just so it kind of looks like a reflective metal, slightly-ish. I mean, I don't want to go full bore on it, but. Oh, and I got my new colors. These are from Riot.
Book bam.
These are their airbrush colors. Used it on the lower part. This is my first time using them. So I will let you guys know what I think of them. So far they seem like they're ground down really fine. Good pigment build, which is good. I mean, you want high pigmented paint. Something like this, I'm not going to know too much about it because it's not really the type of airbrushing to where you have to need high quality paint. But I will let you know when I start doing the airbrushing, because that's where it comes together. So I'm just doing kind of like a streak looking pattern. You don't want it too even, but I want something other than just black, because black and this blue kind of blend in pretty good together, so I want something to kind of make it pop out a little bit. Basically kind of how you do like if it was a reflective metal surface. Okay, that has to dry. So while that's drying, we can get up here and at least clean it off. Let's do that. So let's lay this sideways. I did take a little bit of acetone and wiped an area, and the acetone kind of melts it a little bit. So that's why I'm using window cleaner as a cleaner, just because I don't want to use any chemicals. But you can hear the texture of this. It's kind of like a crisscross mesh texture. Okay, so that's clean. Now let's tack that off, because that texture kind of pulls the lint off the paper towels. Okay, that's clean. Do it this way. Like a lint roller. Okay, so now we have the outline of the Pokemon going there. And then there's going to be a character right in here. I wish you didn't fill it up with the cards already. Wouldn't be a 100-pound jobber. We're gonna hinge this one down, I guess. Okay. That's pretty centered. Make sure that's pushed down nice. Make sure you grab those centers, because there's no putting them in afterwards. Okay, then press it down from the center. Now this we're going to try to do in the Pokemon colors. which is like a light blue and yellow. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, let's shoot some adhesion promoter on this so this could start setting up. I want to make sure we get plenty of adhesion promoter on it. It also kind of helps lock down the paint mask. That should be good. Okay, now we got to make a blue, kind of a pale blue. It's not real dark, it's not real light. So we're going to take, I only got their dark blue. I'm assuming they probably have multiple blues, but any dark blue becomes light blue with adding a little bit of white. And reducer. That looks about right. That'll look good on this color. So hopefully we've mixed up enough. A little transparent on this. We have to make sure we don't have any lifts. I noticed right here there was a little. If you notice, I really didn't clean out the airbrush going in between. Going in between the Mustang and the base coat. Getting a little buildup on the frame horns. I'm shooting really low pressure so I don't get any kind of underspray on the paint mask because it does want to lift on this. Alright, that'll be good. Good enough. Okay, now that has to set up. And meanwhile, we could unmask that. Make sure that square stays. So So these squares are our alignment holes. This all makes sense in a little bit. So now we're going to take this peel this back and cut that away. Okay, we do not need this square. Now we just line up that and that. Once those are lined up, this is going to be in place for the lettering. Lines that all up. Now for old printing titles, they used to have a bar that had a center round pin and 2 square pins on each side. And you would take the acetate had those cut into it, and you would put those in as you did all your layering of different lettering or shadows or whatever you're doing to line up, and it just kept it all as registration. So that's why I do the 2 squares. I could do a round circle and 2 squares, there's no point. But those, you actually had a bar. So if you were doing like multiple layers of stenciling or something like that, then you could do a bar that you actually cut those holes into each piece and you put it on and it would line it up. Okay, we're gonna make a hinge. So now this can lift up and go back down. Make sure you're getting all the centers. Okay, now we'll just lay this down. And that's the best registration you can get. Especially when you can't see through it, you can't line it up. This way is just a lot easier. Probably be easier if I had glasses over my eyeballs instead of my head. And this says Scarlet and Violet 151 or not. I don't know what that's for. If you guys know, leave it in the comments down below. I know nothing about Pokemon. Except for there's something called Scarlet and Violet. Okay, I'm going to do this in white first. And then one's in like a purple color. The violet's in a violet color, and the scarlet's kind of in a reddish, red and yellow fire kind of colors. I'll do just a little bit of Mustang over the top of it. I didn't on the other lettering, but we'll do it on this one. Okay, now we grab solid white. Anytime you do light coloring, like yellows and stuff like that, you want a white base. We'll let that set up for a little bit, and then we'll hit it with another coat. You don't want to do too many coats, one after another, because you don't want to get the paint mask too wet, because it can lift and do weird stuff. Okay, so this logo is going to be basically all white with a gray kind of horizon line. All right, that's looking pretty good. Got just a little bit of white in here, so I'm going to go ahead and mix the purple in with it, because we want a violet color. Now this gets that. Okay. So I could get that white to pop out a little bit. Make sure we're good on all this. Okay. Now I got to clean out this airbrush and switch over to a yellow. This transparency, that's why you run that white first. We'll let that set up. We don't want to get it too wet. We can't really see how wet it's going on, so we just have to assume it's the worst of it. What you don't want to do is get blow under or any other weird thing going on. But this will probably take 3 coats. Let that set up. We'll do one more coat and then we'll mix some red in. Now that's going to have yellow over the top of that too. So before I mix the orange in, I could do the yellow. The Pokemon yellow is kind of like a golden yellow. I want to do one more coat here and then we'll move on up. We're going to call that yellow done. Okay, we'll get those out of the way. We're going to need those back when we do the red. That pulled up the center of the O, came up with it, so we're done with that violet. We can't go back in there. Go ahead and expose our squares. Okay, now this we got to Okay, so we line that one up. I messed up and got the Sharpie on the mark, which kind of makes it harder to see. But that's us. Okay, now once again I have to, because we ran out of room, upper room here, do the hinge down here. Lift this up and make sure that we'll be able to do it all. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 centers we got to make sure go with it. And it's always better if you could bend the backing. Makes it easier to pull off. All right. And if you peel this off at a real sharp angle, it's less likely to lift up. This yellow is paint mask, so it's a really low tack vinyl. If this was material, I would probably be using actual vinyl itself. Now these look like they're off, but it's actually black Sharpie that I got on it. Okay, let's shoot some adhesion promoter. Now, I didn't clean out the yellow because we're shooting yellow anyways. I sprayed out some of the yellow, so it's not real thick yellow. Okay, we're going to mix up the yellow first in here. And then we'll spray some white. I got white in the other airbrush. So I'm going to go yellow. And then 1 drop of red. Let's see if we can get that to mix in. I want a golden yellow. I don't want a yellow. Normally I'd use orange, but I don't have any orange. The old print days, they used to call that goldenrod yellow. All right, we'll let that stew. Make sure everything's pushed down. Now what I'm thinking about while I'm spraying this is how it's going to airbrush when I start doing artwork on it. You think about coverage and texture and everything else about it. That's something we're going to have to contend with when we're airbrushing. I think it might actually look kind of pixelated if you think about it, with that shape on it. Because to me it basically looks like a whole bunch of little diamonds. And we want to cover the blue to where it's almost not blue anymore, because otherwise we can get a nice green color. So if it takes 5 coats to hide it, it takes 5 coats. All right, we let that set up for a little bit. I took a little break. And now we're going to come in with that golden yellow. It's almost the color of the paint mask. I think I'm going to mix a little, I'm going to brighten it up just a little bit. See what happens if I come in with just a, let's see what just a yellow looks like. That undertone is still in there of that blue. Okay, I'm going to let that set up. Before we go in, and we're going to do some shadowing on this to make that blue look like it's actually raised. I want to make sure my fingers can't transfer any dirt. Flip this around. And now we can finish this up. So we'll grab this airbrush that we had the yellow in. Put a drop of red. Some more yellow. A little bit of reducer. Kind of an orangish yellow. Red. Orange is red. Reddish yellow. Red. Something. That's one of those colors. Okay, let's get this lined up to there, to there, to there. That should be pretty good. So I'm just going to fade from the bottom up. It's looking pretty good. Now I'm just going to get that out of it. Go straight to pure red. Just a couple drops. It's not going to take much. I just want to hit the very bottom edges of the letters. Okay. We did that. The ampersand sign is bright white. So I'm going to clean this out, mix up a gray. So let's do a couple drops of white. If it doesn't say anything, it's purple. I asked her to make me a custom purple. I like working with toner purple, just pure toner. And it makes a really cool shadowing color. And okay, now we need a straight line. That looks pretty straightish. And the line looks like it goes right below there. As straight as possible. And it just fades from there downward. So now, since the last colors we didn't spray much of it, we could go ahead and start unmasking. I guess we'll just unmask it all at once. Okay. The blue is supposed to look like it's kind of raised up, so I'm going to do a little bit of shadowing of an orange, or kind of a darker yellow, and to darken yellow you'd go orange. You wouldn't do black. Black would just kind of deaden the color and make it not look so vibrant. So hopefully you guys, my overhead camera, is getting this. That was too many drops of red. Too red. Too red, too red. Okay, I think we got the color. Put a lid on this just in case. I'm going to be working on my lap, so that's scary. I just noticed something didn't work out right. Well, we could go in there and fix it. Okay, we need to save that color because this did not get unmasked. So now I got to go in. We got to go in and fix that. So we need white. Okay, we'll let that sit up for a little bit. We'll just keep doing coats. Right, I mixed up a yellow. I think we're close. I don't think we're right on, but yeah, I think I got to go a little more yellow. What I'm doing is kind of spraying out some of that yellow so I don't have to add as much. Trying to save paint. That red is so strong that just one little tiny drop of that red, it's too much. I really need to get an orange from her. I mean, technically you only need 3 colors and black and white, but that looks pretty close. But we like to have all the in-between colors. So what I'm doing is bringing in this color into these. Just in case it is a slight bit off, it'll kind of bring that tone in. We do have to remember we did 3 or 4 coats, so I got to do 3 or 4 coats of this. I think we're looking pretty good. Now we can get that orange in there. And that's going to be on the bottom edge since we have it upside down. but the whole table fell. All right, that's looking good. Make sure my hands are clean. So that's what we got so far. Now I get to draw some artwork on it and then start airbrushing. This was just doing lettering, not really airbrushing. But it's a beginning. I'll decide whether we make this a two-parter or a one-parter. Might just mash it all together. Make it look like the lettering only took 10 seconds.